Yeah, the one additional one was Aaron Williams this week. He's done a good job ever since he's been back from his injury. Practice-wise, he's played pretty well the last few weeks. We thought that he kind of took over that spot, and he's given us some leadership. So he's the one that earned the black shirt this week. Yesterday, yep.
What's your impressions of the game film?
What's that?
The impressions from the game film, that Troy game, positives, negatives, anything that jump out?
Impressions from the game film. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can look at some things and say it was good. I think they had like 4 first downs in the first half and 2 from penalties. And the 17 points that we gave up on defense, each of those 3 drives contained the next play, which is something we've got to eliminate. Obviously, they were all assignment errors. One was, a guy in coverage didn't get the proper alignment, beat by alignment to begin with. Second one, they had some elements of triple option football out of the spread. We had a guy in the pitch. We had 2 on the dive and nobody in the quarterback, so assignment error there. So a couple of little details led to us giving up some points. Positive, obviously, we had a couple sacks. We had an interception. Played good against the run most of the day, but can't make those mistakes, especially anytime I think there's a backup quarterback in, a new quarterback, whether it's Adrian's first game or the backup's in, whether it's Brett Favre or me, you got to be pretty perfect on defense, and we weren't good enough.
Does Michigan present some of their multiple looks?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Michigan's going to be a different game than we've seen in the last few weeks. They can get in 11 personnel and run some of the spread stuff, but then they also can get into 21 and 22 and 23 and 13 and 12 and bring a lot of big boys at you and pound the rock. So I think you got to take care of them running the football. But with that being said, obviously the DBs got to have their eyes right, because it's going to be pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock, bombs away, and that's kind of where they get their big chunks. So you got to have a good plan to defend the run, but also get those DBs in a spot where they can defend the deep ball.
You guys had a couple of costly personal foul penalties or targeting last week, and then Antonio's first foul. How do you walk that line as a coach of preaching aggressiveness, but also being aware of staying away from penalties in some of these situations?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting harder and harder to play defense, we all know. But the rules are the rules. I don't make the rules. I don't have to like them, but I got to play by them, and so does everybody else. I don't think you can lose the aggressiveness, but you got to do a great job of knowing when and where. It used to be, everybody wanted to cap off the pile in every big run play. Now it's just getting harder and harder to do it. The targeting on Mo, you look at it. Did he hit head-to-head? Absolutely. Was it intentional? No way. Because, you look at it from behind, from the tight copy, and he's trying to make sure the ball carrier's down. So you are walking a fine line, but obviously we've got to find a way to be aggressive as we can be and also clean up the penalties.
Do you remember about that Michigan game a couple of years ago? I know Trey Neal had mentioned that was a game that maybe things started clicking for that team. Is there a moment that sticks out from that game a couple of years ago to you?
No, I think it was just the fact that, we similar situation, taking over a team and new system and new coaching staff and maybe players in different spots and getting used to the defense. And, we went up there and we played really well against the run, I thought, and then we gave up some big balls in the pass. But I think at that point they kind of understood that we can play with anybody. I thought Michigan was a really, really good football team that year. I think they're a really, really good football team this year. So I think this is going to be a good test for us to stop the run. Also a good test for us just as a defense and a team. So I think we're going to find out a lot about ourselves here this week.
Anything else?
All right.